All right, guys, we have officially made it to Velma episode number 3. I'm as excited as all of you are to view this absolutely terrible TV show, but at the end of the day, I'm having a lot of fun roasting this show because this is a TV show that deserves to get roasted every which way imaginable. Now, the last episode we had, it was quite intriguing in the most unintriguing way possible. I don't really know how else to explain it, but it's pretty terrible. Now, of course, we have Velma, who just recently accused Fred of killing the two girls that were killed in high school. And obviously, Fred did not do this. That's pretty plain as day. But because Fred is white and rich, and Mindy Kaling loves to use Velma as a means to get out her aggression against white people, of course, Fred is the one who's going to get accused of killing the two girls. So I'm going to play the recap for you guys so that we can catch up. But of course, before we do, if you guys are new here and you're enjoying my reviews, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to work our way now to 12,000 subscribers since we just recently passed 11,000 pretty quickly. So I appreciate you guys and everybody who joined the channel. So now let's play this recap really quick so we can catch up.
The last place my mom's cell phone pinged the night she went missing was at Fred's house.
My name's Fred. Who are you?
They call me the Thief.
Oh God, my heart!
So obviously Fred was accused, and in this world, apparently you get locked up instantly. And Daphne obviously ended up kissing Velma because that's something that they've been wanting to do since the first episode. You can see the clues coming in through and through. Now, this particular episode, I watched it before this review, and I'm going to break it down for you guys as I always do. So try to give me a long view duration so I can fight the YouTube algorithm. But the funny thing about this episode is that we thought the first two episodes were bad in terms of like ideology and messaging. This episode is really bad, okay? Like the first 5 to 10 minutes is terrible. It literally goes into nonstop ideological messaging, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to play clips from that. So as you guys are aware, you caught up. Daphne obviously kissed Velma. They're having this seemingly gay relationship, even though she has a crush on Fred as well. So I guess she's going to be part of the bi spectrum in terms of the LGBTQ. And anytime they make a character bisexual, that's essentially their way of trying to make a character part of that community without actually making them gay, because that's just what they try to do. You know, they need to make sure they hit every single checkbox they possibly can. So they recap and they show the kiss between Daphne and Velma. Let's play that.
Well, good luck finding your mom. What the hell just happened?
Obviously, very awkward, as expected. Nobody really expected Daphne and Velma to kiss. And the funny thing is, a lot of people are mentioning, oh, well, Velma is confirmed lesbian. I'm like, no, she wasn't. Velma was wanting to be lesbian from the fans of the original Scooby-Doo. A lot of fans from Scooby-Doo assumed she was lesbian or tried to look for any little possible clue of her being lesbian. But at the end of the day, she had a ton of male relationships. So up until recently, where they made her into a female in a recent iteration of Velma in Scooby-Doo, it wasn't. She was just basically into men. You know, she had a thing with Johnny Bravo. There was no reason for us to assume that she was lesbian. It was just people having fantasies about Velma and wanting it to be true. So we're going to fast forward now to her getting ready inside of the house, and she somehow gets electrocuted. Hell if I know why that is.
So yeah, let's do this. I've avoided it long enough with winks and nods. Let's finally talk about the only thing you've ever really wanted to know about me. Is Velma Dinkley gay?
Velma, snap out!
So obviously she was going to say, is Velma Dinkley gay? Because she is referencing the fact that a lot of people want Velma to be gay. And of course she was going to make Velma at least something part of the LGBTQ community in this actual series. And she's not going to be gay. She's going to end up being bi to some degree because she, like I said, she currently has a crush on Fred. But let's keep playing.
Out of it! You fed the cat Sophie's prenatal vitamins.
Oh, sorry.
So it's got more jokes that fall flat. It's nothing that's interesting at all, honestly. Like, the jokes are really terrible in this show. It really is. I laugh at just how bad they are. Does that make sense? Like, the joke itself is not funny, but how bad they are is pretty hilarious to me. Like, somebody actually sat in a writer's room and thought that this was good content. Like, they really thought this was good stuff. And since this show needs to be overly violent, this happened. People just end up getting stabbed and like shot, and things just magically heal. Like, none of this has any sense, and it's there just for like the shock factor. It's there. So anyway, so now we have Norville, good old fake Shaggy, who is trying to tell Velma that he saw them kissing, her and Daphne, and is trying to confront her about it.
night.
Daphne and me kiss? What? Her hands on my hips? What? The heat of 1,000 suns passing between us? What? Time both infinite and finite. Okay, we kissed, but it's not a big deal.
You possibly being gay is a huge deal.
They're making this, like, this whole episode, just so you know, is all about gayness. Like, the first 10 to 15 minutes is literally all about that. This is what I would dub the LGBTQ episode, to be honest with you. And the funny thing is, too, if you look here, let me see if I can find it really fast. This entire scene between Norville and Velma has literally two gay men kissing nonstop. Yeah, exactly. Do you see that? Did you see that? Let me play it through. Let me try to go back to the beginning. It has two gay men literally kissing the entire time. Check this out. Look at that. See? This two like, they literally are just walking past and they're just making out with each other the entire freaking time as Norville and Velma are talking. Check this out. So
Norville, guess what Daphne gave me?
you saw them
is
that
it
one time,
mononucleosis?
and now you're gonna
Because
see
I
them
saw you
again.
two
Watch.
kiss last-
They're gonna
We
show up
only
right now.
kissed
Check
because
this out.
Daphne was trying to stop a
There they are. See?
hallucination. She gave me
It's
my
like this
mom's
entire
cold kiss file,
freaking
and
scene
guess
is
what?
just nothing but gayness. That's all it's about. So they keep talking, and they're figuring the fact that Velma's mother her cell phone last pinged at Fred's house before she disappeared. So that's supposed to be the whole big like ooh moment. And if you notice, there's another section right here of two gay girls who walk past each other right here. They're holding hands. You can't really see it because of my animation, but up top here, they're holding hands. So this entire thing, this entire high school is basically trying to show itself as being gay. Now, you're going to have more left-wing talking points because everything has to be a Russian conspiracy, right? This is what the left always does when they talk about their ideology and they talk about anti-Republicans and whatnot. So they try to link everything to Russia because that's something they'd be talking about forever, right? So when you look at this particular section, it talks about an app, right? She talks about how she downloaded a therapy app, and look what she says about it.
The app I downloaded, that's obviously Russian spyware.
О, это Вельма. Интересно, она гей?
Okay, well, I
So they're trying to say that everything is Russian spyware. Like I'm telling you, man, this show is just god awful. So we're gonna get into the gymnasium scene. So the gymnasium scene is big, and of course it's big because they're talking about the deaths of the girls. But the funny thing is, they took this moment to turn this into a toxic masculinity thing. They are all for it. Another thing too is you need to notice that the continuation of the red eyes in some of these characters because they want to showcase people being super high. You got this girl up here with red eyes. You got this dude down here with red eyes. You got a dude up here with red eyes. The red eyes thing is trying to show that people are high because, oh, this kid right here with red eyes as well. Everybody apparently here, this dude has red eyes. Everybody's high in this high school. This is just a drug-riddled high school, and that's something that we just have to accept, obviously, in today's modern world. But let's continue with this. So we'll get into the toxic masculinity part. So you got Norville's dad, who happens to be super white, and Norville's mom, who is black. So when you look here, Norville's dad actually looks like the original Shaggy, just older. But let's continue forward because I want to get to the toxic masculinity part. Check this out.
Attend a women's self-defense class to protect themselves from any future serial killers.
Why don't the boys have to take a don't murder girls class?
Because I only have $50 in the budget to combat centuries of toxic masculinity. Now, please welcome your women's self-defense class.
You see what I'm saying? Like, of course they have to make this about toxic masculinity. Of course they have to make this about the fact that only men murder, right? This is the talking point that feminists always try to do and try to use about how men are the ones who murder. Women never do anything wrong. Women are usually squeaky clean. They always believe all women. This is the problem that they always have, and they're trying to pass this off as a thing. So, of course, they're going to make toxic masculinity a thing, and then they're going to have a self-defense course taught by two lesbian cops who happen to be, obviously, Daphne's parents. Now, the one thing I will mention is something obviously very strange is happening with Norville's mom. Every time the camera pans to her, she does this. She makes basically a weird face for some unknown reason because nobody really knows what's going on with that. And then we get back to the jail scene where Fred ends up getting interviewed by Velma and Norville because Velma wants to question him about her mom's disappearance at his house. So she ends up having a hallucination about Daphne. Let's check this out.
Daphne?
Maybe another kiss will help clear things up.
Oh god, I'm hallucinating!
Hi.
So, of course, at this point, since Daphne's not actually there to get her out of the trance this time, Norville offers to get her out with a kiss, and he ends up getting laughed at by Velma. Again, Norval's just a mega simp in this TV show, but apparently a ton of people like that. Like the CBR.com loves the fact that he's a super simp, and it ends up making him into a joke yet again as she tries to fight out of the trance. Look what happens.
Did I kiss you like Daphne did? Without consent, I'll remind you.
No, don't kiss me. I'm already too confused.
Kissing me would confuse you? Wait, why?
This isn't about you right now. Just make me laugh like last time.
But a kiss might awaken passions we've been too scared to admit. Why deprive ourselves that knowledge?
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Yeah, so like I said, they do Norval pretty dirty in this TV show. Like they make him turn into like super simp, and like I said, all the men in this show are basically either simps, stupid, useless, just completely incapable. That's how they like to showcase male characters. So we're gonna fast forward into the scene where, well, just so you know, Velma ends up getting banned from the prison because she ended up hitting one of the guards during the trance, and they all jumped her and banned her from the prison. Now, when we go forward, we see the self-defense class, right? So they talk about. It's not just groin kicks, it's mostly groin kicks. It's a joke, obviously, because they're trying to say that all men are basically the ones that commit this stuff. And then Velma ends up having to fight Daphne because they picked them two as partners to showcase self-defense. But then Daphne ends up running away because she feels some sort of way, and Velma chases after her.
Me too.
Why she's rolling, I have no idea. So they meet each other in the bathroom, and when they do, they talk about their feelings, and they try to get each other to admit how they feel. It's this whole big, super retarded, honestly, romantic scene. But then when they get down to it, they end up fighting again because they don't want to admit to each other they like each other.
Me, which is impossible because I don't like you like that. I like Fred.
Oh, good. Because I don't like you like that either.
Perfect. We're on the same page. Wow, I'm so glad we resolved all our issues before we had to punch each other.
Me too.
And fight to see.
So at this point, she's admitting that she still likes Fred. So at this point, she's not a gay character. She is a bisexual character. Just throwing that out there.
Who's less vulnerable?
What the hell, Daphne? If I was a real attacker, you could have hurt me. You're supposed to go limp.
And potentially let myself get hurt by you instead? My journal's not gonna believe this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So obviously, they do have feelings, and they're fighting each other. It's typical teenage drama. Nobody wants to admit when they actually like each other. They go into this whole self-defense course. Let's skip forward a little bit. So Norval ends up interviewing Fred again, but because Norval is not banned from the prison, only Velma was banned from the prison. And when Norval's interviewing, Fred doesn't exactly want to give him the kind of information that he's looking for.
Quite like mother. I tried to steer the hot air balloon myself, but I was only 4.
Huh. Yeah, you'd think we should start there. But I'd actually rather talk about moms.
I do miss my mom. Prison is cool, but nobody watches me pee quite like mother.
Wow.
So, of course, they're making Fred, yet again, look like a completely emasculated fool. It's just one of those things, man. Fred is the punching bag of this entire series, and they love doing it to him. So as we fast forward, Fred gets his lackey to kick Norval out, beat him up, etc., and kick him out of the prison. And now we have the self-defense course happening.
I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. I'm a badass.
Honestly, that's pretty fucking creepy. I just want to throw that out there. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's pretty creepy, man. I gotta admit. I feel like this is Mindy Kaling when her makeup's off at home. Because if you notice, like, she looks like she got a lot of plastic surgery. It's pretty fucking ugly, to be honest with you. But I feel like this is Mindy Kaling, how she really feels on the inside or on the outside when she has no makeup on. But of course, his entire scene is a super girl boss moment. You have the girls literally fighting each other in a tournament style. And then Daphne ends up getting super pissed when this big chick, who I'm pretty sure is a trans girl. I'm pretty sure this is not a real girl. But, you know, I digress. It looks like a trans girl. This is what happens.
I am not vulnerable. No one will ever hurt me.
So murder's perfectly fine in this school. It's amazing. Like you literally have a murder mystery where there's girls showing up dead with their brains cut out. And then you have Daphne literally murdering a trans girl. Like, isn't that just hilarious when you think about that? They talk about all the time, oh, trans women are so affected by violence and their murder rate, suicide rate so high. And then you literally have Daphne murdering a trans girl on the gymnasium floor. I mean, I just don't know how much more on the nose can you get. So Norval ends up talking to his dad, and his dad basically says that he doesn't really have it cut out to be a therapist, but then he ends up finding out that his dad utilizes a magic coat to get people to talk and confess to him. And that's how he gets his job done. So then Norval skips forward, and then we see Daphne in the bathroom with Velma. And then when they're in the bathroom, Daphne was about to admit that she likes Velma, but then Velma realizes that Daphne will not admit she likes her because Velma is way less popular. So they end up having a little bit of a fight.
How popular you are after I kick your perfect ass, Daphne.
And then Velma realizes she can use the journal against Daphne to try to make her vulnerable. So Norval ends up interviewing Fred for a third time and uses the magic coat, where Fred ends up admitting a couple things to Norval.
About the night Velma's mom, Dia, went missing.
Right. So, Father had just bought our house. It was a dump, and he had this brilliant idea to burn it for the insurance money.
But instead of fraud, you committed murder.
Oh, I wish. You can get over murder, but this could ruin a man. I'll never tell.
So he says he's never going to tell. Then, of course, he uses the coat yet again to convince him, and then watch what happens.
The truth is, on the night we were gonna burn it down, my father stood me up. Just like on my birthday. Only this time, Bill Gates didn't even jump out of a cake for me.
Wait, that's it? And that's worse than murder?
Oh, then some Indian lady pulled up.
Yes.
It's like some Indian lady. I mean, come on, dude. This is on the nose stuff here.
Tell me about her.
Why, you into that? Respect.
No. What was she doing there?
I don't know. My dad told me never to pay attention to women over 35.
So Norval realizes this is completely useless and then once again gets kicked out of the jail. And then you have the final fight between good old Daphne and good old Velma, WWE style in the ring. And now when you look, she threatens to use the journal against Daphne, and this is what happens.
Please don't do this.
You hurt me, I hurt you. Hey everyone, so you all think Daphne is the perfect, beautiful girl next door, right? Well, it's a lie. According to her own journal, Daphne is so messed up that she has a daily session with our school guidance counselor, Lamont, to discuss her issues.
That's it. That's literally it. That's all it is. The crowd ends up turning on Velma because they talk about this whole mental health thing, and you know they love to talk about that. Check this out.
Come on, I just made Daphne vulnerable. I win. Now laugh as we watch her precious popularity fade away.
Why would we do that? Mental health is no joke, no matter how lame Lamont is.
Yeah, no matter how lame I am.
Once again, they're trying to cuck the men in the show, and they try to make Norval's dad seem like a complete useless turd, and the mom seems to be this smarter, devious one, which once again, she ends up making this face that I mentioned earlier in the episode. So something's obviously up with the mom. Now, Norval's dad ends up talking to Velma, and when he does, he gets her to admit things even without his magic coat because he uses another therapy trope, which is the water fountain.
Fine. I know I have to talk to someone about my feelings for Daphne, but my mom is the person I talk to when I'm confused. And talking to anyone else feels like a betrayal, like I'm admitting she's gone for good.
I see that, but hasn't not talking to someone else gotten you even further from finding her?
Huh. Okay, that feels smart.
So they talk about their issues, and then as you move forward, let's go a little more forward. Fred ends up joining some sort of a meeting, and then in that meeting, they end up convincing each other to have a riot where they leave the prison. So they start having a riot, they start going crazy, destroy a bunch of things, leave the prison. And Daphne's looking at a text message from Velma, who asked her to meet outside.
I came to apologize. I'm sorry I read your journal out loud to everyone in school.
Then they have a little bit of a reconciliation outside, and it's a whole big thing. And then if you notice this, they really want to push the whole fact that these two are obsessed with each other. Check this out.
I can only obsess over one woman at a time, and right now it has to be my mom.
So should we hug it out? Friends hug. Boobs touch, no crotch.
Boobs touch, no crotch.
Maybe let's just shake, yeah?
Yes, love a shake. Just two friends sharing a casual handshake.
They're really trying to push that on you. Then at the last moment before the episode ends, Norville ends up talking to his dad, and his dad ends up losing this piece out of his coat, which brings up a lot of questions from Norville. Check this out.
Comes medium responsibility.
I know. I'm sorry. Crystal Cove Insane Asylum? Why is this in here?
What? Oh, that. I have a friend who works there, Dr. Bad Excuse.
Why do you have this, Dad?
Son, There's something I need to tell you about your mother.
So as I mentioned, there's something obviously wrong with Norval's mom, but this whole like fake suspense that they're trying to have go on with this episode to like this whole mystery thing, it's just falling completely flat. It really is. Like they don't really showcase, they don't take themselves serious enough to take this mystery serious enough. You know what I mean? Like this TV show is just obviously a one big joke. So for them to try to come out all of a sudden and be serious about certain topics just seems odd to me. It seems misplaced. It doesn't seem like it belongs. This is supposed to be an adult comedy, and now it's trying to take itself super, super serious when the entire time it's been literally insane and pushing a whole bunch of weird ideologies on people. On top of that, being a complete joke fest. So why would you all of a sudden want to take yourself seriously? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So towards the end of the episode, after Norval figures out something's wrong with Mama Dukes, that's when we have the breakout scene where we see this.
Because I want to look tough to impress my father.
Aww.
So they ended up finding Fred outside from the prison break, the two lesbian moms, and they just tased him. I mean, they love attacking Fred to the point where literally Fred is the punching bag of this entire series. There's not a single episode that I've seen so far that hasn't had Fred being completely humiliated in every way. I'm serious. Like, it's really sad. It's really pathetic. And you can obviously see Mindy Kaling has quite the agenda up her sleeve. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this review of Velma episode number 3. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.